Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It's Damon yet again, and this time I'm going to do the WrestleMania 35, which is officially the last one night WrestleMania there is to book, because every other WrestleMania afterwards was 2 nights. And I'll let you know afterwards what I intend to do anyway. So first of all, WrestleMania 35 headliners, there'll be plenty. The headliners would be, first of all, you could have DX headline like in real life. It would be Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Chyna, X-Pac, The Outlaws, and Rick Rude, because he was part of DX as well. But you wouldn't be the only group headline at WrestleMania. You also have the entire Hart Foundation. That not only Bret Hart, not only Jim Neidhart, not only Jimmy Hart, but also the British Bulldog, Owen Hart, and Brian Pillman. You have Arlo Meat and Booker T and Stevie Ray. You have Brutus Beefcake, Honky Tonk Man. There's a manager, R.V. Whippleman, and you have Tori Wilson. For night one Battle Royal, it starts with this, like in real life, but basically wouldn't be a pre-show. You have Braun Strowman win the Battle Royal, the 35-man Battle Royal, and he decides, they ask him after the match, I see a U.S. title match. Which one do you prefer to be inserted in? He decides the U.S. title. I mean, at this point, I mentioned in the previous video that Braun Strowman won the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania. You won the Money in the Bank match soon after WrestleMania 34, in which case he had to vacate the tag titles anyway after Nicholas. So basically, at this point, the former tag champion, he won the Money in the Bank match at Money in the Bank pay-per-view. He beats Kevin Owens in a match where his briefcase was on the line. And he cashes in at SummerSlam against Roman Reigns, and he wins the Universal title. And he stays a face the whole way. And like Roman Reigns has a 5 months reign, and he was Universal Champion. So basically, it leads to Crown Jewel, where Brock Lesnar wins the title back. Like by shenanigans, that brought Strowman back. He wants to go to face Lesnar, but he gets on. Braun Strowman still win the greatest Royal Rumble ever, but he is the final person eliminated in the 2019 Royal Rumble. That wouldn't change. He goes on to the Andre Giant Battle Royal. He wins and decides to challenge for the U.S. title, which is held currently by Samoa Joe, like in real life. In the second match of the night for the Cruiserweight title, Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. Again, I have Tony Nese win the title, like in real life. You have AJ Styles. They facing against Randy Orton, a pretty underrated match. And it was overshadowed by the fact that WrestleMania was like 8 hours long. In this case, it wouldn't be 8 hours long. The match would be like 14 minutes. It would be much better and much better pace WrestleMania. So I would have AJ win. In the fourth match of the night, I always mention to friends that I felt like the Miz in 2019 face turn was so maligned because the guy never won. Never won important match. He won against Sanity. That was it. He barely won against Elias. He always lost against Drew McIntyre, and especially always lost to Shane McMahon. I would rectify this. I would have him be stuck in an handicap match. Shane McMahon teams up with Elias and Sanity, but they're defending. Okay, Miz, you must have at least a partner. Okay, you could have his dad be his partner. Not enough. So you have Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is going to leave anyway. So why could you put him in a high-profile spot? But despite all that, I felt like Dean Ambrose still haven't gotten a WrestleMania match. So we give him that. Dean Ambrose takes out Sanity, and Miz managed to beat both Elias and Shane McMahon to win the match. I mean, I remember reading in articles that supposedly Miz was supposed to win that match, but Shane McMahon decided to do a Triple H and veto it, and I thought it actually went against the Miz. Apart from some brief moments since then, Miz hasn't been seen as a threat to a single title since then. So why not rectify this, have Miz win, he beats Shane McMahon, and boom goes the Dynamite. In a SmackDown tag title match, you have the Usos defending against the Hardys, against the Bar, and against Ricochet and Aleister Black. I would have the Hardys win the tag titles there. Then, in the women's tag title match, you have Sasha Banks and Bayley taking on Nia Jax and Tamina versus Natalya and Becky Phoenix versus not the Iconics, but Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. And since she's the WrestleMania host and her partner, and the WrestleMania host and her partner win the tag titles at WrestleMania 25. The penultimate match, like it was in real life, it will be Bobby Lashley defending the IC title against Finn Balor. Finn Balor injures Leo Rush, who's not WrestleMania. Finn Balor is a demon, and like in WrestleMania 35, Finn Balor summons the ability of the demon to win the IC title from Bobby Lashley. And the main event of WrestleMania 35 Night 1 is indeed the WWE title match between Daniel Bryan defending against Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston, in this case, would have won the #1 contendership Elimination Chamber. And I would have had him, basically, he would have won the Elimination Chamber at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, because the first match of the night will be the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. Kofi screwed out of it. And Kofi does an Edge from 2009, infiltrates another Elimination Chamber match, and wins that one to be the #1 contender. So it leads up to Kofi not being given that title because of New Day or given a title shot. It's basically Kofi tries to get the title shot, fulfills every criteria, overcomes every obstacle that Vince McMahon throws his way, but Vince tries to, thwart the rule, basically bend the rule for his liking, and it doesn't match. So basically it leads to Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi to all confront Vince at this point that enough is enough. Like, he earned his title shot, and he gets at WrestleMania, and like in real life, Kofi wins the title the exact same match, exact same way, to end WrestleMania 35 Night 1. Night 2, I would start off with it started off the first night anyway, with Brock Lesnar defending the Universal title against the Royal Rumble winner in Seth Rollins. And like in real life, you would have, in this case, Brock Lesnar would lose in around 6 minutes his title to Seth Rollins. Then, in the second match of the night, for the tag titles, you have FTR or the Revival against Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Again, people forget that great moment that happened was to see Kurt Hawkins' infamous losing streak ends at WrestleMania, and this is how it would end. It was Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder win the tag titles there. So, yeah, that's how it would be. Then, in the third match of the night, I would have Triple H and Batista. And remember when I mentioned, bar two exceptions, like he won against Jericho at WrestleMania, and I said, you know what? Triple H could afford to have the worst record WrestleMania. And not only that, but Batista can remind him that you can't. There's one thing they're being able to do, is that's beating me. And that ends at this WrestleMania. WrestleMania 35 is where Triple H beat Batista. Now, next match will be for the United States title. And that match will be Samoa Joe defending against Rey Mysterio against Shinsuke Nakamura, against R-Truth, against Rusev, against Andrade, and against Braun Strowman. And the first minute happened, like the first minute match that happened with Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio. Samoa Joe beats Rey Mysterio in like 2 minutes by submission, because I think Rey was getting injured. Then you could have the next thing could happen will be we need to cut way of heel. You could have R-Truth delivers a Mashka kick by mistake to Shinsuke Nakamura, followed by R-Truth delivering his axe kick to pin Shinsuke Nakamura. Braun Strowman delivers a big power slam to Andrade to eliminate him. Then, so now we are up to 4. There's Samoa Joe left. You have R-Truth. You have Rusev and Braun Strowman. Rusev makes R-Truth tap out. Sorry. Samoa Joe makes R-Truth tap out. Braun Strowman pins Rusev to a power slam, and then Braun Strowman does pick up Samoa Joe when Samoa Joe does a coquina clutch. He makes sure to pick him up, delivers a running power slam, but since Samoa Joe hit him already, like had him in the choke, it's not full effect. So he picks him up again to do another running power slam. 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman leaves WrestleMania as the United States champion, and he's basically 5-0. He's 5-0 at WrestleMania. He won against Kane. He won against Big Show. He won against The Bar. He won the Battle Royal, and he beat Samoa Joe. So very impressive. He's undefeated yet at WrestleMania there. In the penultimate match of WrestleMania, because in this case I want all titles to be defended, the penultimate match will be Kurt Angle's retirement match, and it's against indeed John Cena. And you have John Cena win. And after the match, both of them basically hug, and basically John Cena raises Kurt Angle's arm. And so sorry, I forgot one match. Forgot one match. Basically, that's my fault. The third match of the night, like the first match would still be Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. The second match would have been FTR defending and losing tag titles against Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. The third match of the night would have been a women's battle royal. Women's battle royal, and the winner gets added to the main event of WrestleMania 35. Because there's only one women's title match, so winner gets added. And I would have Asuka win that match. I would have Asuka win the women's battle royal. So, Universal title match. We have Lesnar beat Seth Rollins beating Seth Rollins to win the Universal title. You have for FTR Revival gets beaten and lose the tag titles to Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Third match, you have Asuka win the battle royal. You have Triple H beat Batista. You have Braun Strowman win the US title. You have Kurt Angle losing his retirement match to John Cena. And the main event of WrestleMania will be a fatal four-way match for both women's title. So you would have Ronda Rousey, women's champion, against SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. The same way she done in real life, she would basically, it would be Asuka win the title. Maybe she loses it due to cash in during the whole year. Would have lost it to Carmella without being pinned, and Becky Lynch would win the title from Carmella. Then Asuka would win it again at TLC 2018. Then Charlotte Flair is the one to break Asuka's streak, but she would maybe finish end Asuka's streak at Elimination Chamber 2019, or the penultimate pay-per-view before WrestleMania 35. So Charlotte Flair is forced into the main event of WrestleMania against Becky Lynch, who wins the Royal Rumble 2019, and Asuka wins the Battle Royal at WrestleMania. So every woman has a right to be there, and it'd be a very quick-ass match. Like, it felt like people were sleeping on this match also, because I felt like the moment Charlotte Flair or Lynch were basically on the ground, Ronda Rousey had no idea what happens. Well, in this case, there's a way to solve that situation. You get Asuka. And I would still have Charlotte Flair be taken out by the running big boot by Charlotte Flair. Then afterwards, you could have basically Ronda Rousey delivers or whatever, or Ronda Spit finisher to Charlotte Flair. And basically, Ronda tries to do the Piper Spit on this, but leaves to out of nowhere Becky Lynch in the Manhandle Slam, and she delivers like a cover, basically not a normal cover, but there's a magical cradle, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, so Ronda got outmaneuvered, maybe not pinned, because maybe not she got pinned, but she not got like decisively beaten. She just was out wrestled by Becky Lynch, and you end WrestleMania with Becky Lynch, like in real life, as two-time women's champion. One thing I've noticed after booking that entire WrestleMania, it'd be the only WrestleMania that I've ever done or I've seen that had the potential, even in real life, to have every title change hands. Imagine that. Especially since some of the title, like US title was I think Rey Mysterio won the next month, and tag titles, SmackDown tag titles were lost the very next SmackDown. They could have done this WrestleMania. It says a changing of the guard. I mean, look at everything that happened at WrestleMania. Tony Nese wins the US title. Braun Strowman wins the US title. Finn Balor wins the IC title. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James win the women's tag titles. Hardys win the tag titles. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins win the Raw SmackDown tag titles. Becky Lynch wins both women's title. Kofi Kingston wins the WWE title. Seth Rollins wins the Universal title. I felt like every title changed and for a good reason. Also, Braun Strowman won a World Battle Royal. His winning streak's still there. And yeah. And Roman Reigns, I forgot to mention, comes back and indeed beats Drew McIntyre Night 2 WrestleMania. So that would happen. The Demon would come out. That great moment at the end with Kofi Kingston. Uh, the Miz actually looks good as a babyface. Kurt Angle retires. Like a lot of things have happened. So yeah. So to recap, because of my mistakes there, I'll say under Giant Battle Royal, Braun Strowman wins in night one, gets inserted into U.S. title match. For the Cruiserweight title, Tony Nese beats Buddy Murphy to win the Cruiserweight title. AJ Styles beats Randy Orton in the third match of the night. Miz and Dean Ambrose in an handicap match. Handicap falls count anywhere match beat Shane McMahon, Elias, and Sanity. For the SmackDown tag titles, Artie's beat the Usos, The Bar, and Ricochet and Aleister Black to win the SmackDown tag titles. For the women's tag titles, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James beat the champions Sasha Banks and Bayley, Nia Jax and Tamina, and Natalya and Beth Phoenix in a four-way match to win the SmackDown to win the women's tag titles. For the IC title, Finn Balor defeats the Demon. Finn Balor defeats Bobby Lashley to win the IC title, and the main event night one, Kofi Kingston finally, 10 years after winning his first WWE title at WrestleMania, he wins another singles title, the ultimate singles title in the WWE title by beating Daniel Bryan in a WWE title match to win the WWE title. Night 2 of WrestleMania, first match on the card, you have Seth Rollins defeat Brock Lesnar in like 5-6 minutes to win the Universal title. You have Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder snap Kurt Hawkins' losing streak at WrestleMania. Zack Snyder and Kurt Hawkins snap Hawkins' wrestling losing streak by beating FTR for the WWE tag titles. For the women's battle royal, Asuka wins. It gets added to the main event later on that night. You have Triple H take on Batista. Triple H finally avenges past. Lost to Batista, finally wins in his last WrestleMania, and both men's last WrestleMania. So it's a goodbye to both. I would have Triple H kind of retire afterwards. You would have Roman Reigns come back and beat Drew McIntyre in an 8 to 10 minute match. For the U.S. title, you have Braun Strowman win. Basically, it would be 7-man match, elimination match. You would beat champion Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, Shinsuke Nakamura, R-Truth, Rusev, and Andrade to win the U.S. title. The penultimate match, in Kurt Angle's retirement match, he faces off and loses against John Cena. And both basically hug, and Cena raises Angle's arm afterwards. And in the main event, you have Ronda Rousey defend the women's title against another Charlotte Flair, who defends her SmackDown women's title at the same time against the Royal Rumble winner, 2019 Women's Royal Rumble winner in Becky Lynch, against the the WrestleMania 35 Battle Royal winner, Asuka. And a four-way match, and it leads to Becky Lynch pinning Ronda Rousey to basically win both belts, and then WrestleMania 35 Night 2. So there you go. Those are my WrestleMania, basically the WrestleMania that was night one nights, and I put them in 2 nights. I said we'd talk about the future of this, and I know the other WrestleMania is 2 nights, but honestly, I felt I could do some of it better. So the other WrestleManias, it's like we'll still say WrestleMania 36 rebooked. My way. It's just going to be rebooked in 2 nights. I'm just going to have my way. So WrestleMania 36 to 42, I'm going to rebook them. I'm going to say rebooking WrestleMania number into 2 nights, done my way. Because I felt like at this point, I've already started those WrestleManias. It's like most of WrestleManias were when I went to rebook all of it and create my own timeline to wrestle. So let me know what you think, comments down below. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. I'm going to be done for the day. Thank you for listening, and see you guys later. Peace.